up my front delts. So my goal today is to just train my front delts and isolate my front delts and alleviate all the other muscles around them that would assist in training my front delts. So to pretty much prime them, to pretty much warm them up, I'm just doing lateral raises, you know, until I clock out to 8 reps. So I'm going above 8. Once I hit 8 and I break form, then I'll go back down. Now the point of that is to exhaust my front delts, because after this movement, I'm going to go into a heavier compound movement where I'm using, you know, both my delts at the same time. Now, the reason why I would exhaust them is because once I go in that heavy compound movement, I want the exhaustion of my delts to keep me humble with the weight that I use on the barbell, so I'm not using other muscles to help me move the weight along with my front delts. So that's the reason for exhausting my delts going into that. Now there's 2 different ways that you can lateral raise, okay? Right now I'm focusing on my front delts. So what I do is I keep my elbows just neutrally. I don't lock them out. If I lock my elbows out, then I keep the tension on my joints, and I don't want that. I'm just going to keep a natural bend in my elbows and allow my delts to do everything. So what I do is, as I raise, I keep the head of the dumbbell lined up with my front delt. That's where I want it to work, so that's where I point the weight. If I go any higher, my traps will take over and it'll take the tension away from my front delt, so I don't want that. So I'm gonna keep my knuckles pointed to the floor. I'm gonna keep my the head of the dumbbell to my front. Now, if I wanted to work my rear, what I would do is, as I laterally raise, I'm going to turn my wrist outward and point the head of the dumbbell to the ceiling. What that does is transfer the dumbbell weight behind me, taking out the front delt and putting all the tension on the rear delt. Just like you would use an SSB bar and flip the handle forward, moving the weight in front of you to keep the weight on your quads. All right, so we finished our laterals, our front delt laterals with the pyramid, with the dumbbells. So what I'm doing now is standing overhead presses. There's a reason why I'm standing, and there's a reason why I set the safeties. The reason why I'm standing is because if I would have done them seated with the exhaustion in my front delts, I would have using the back of the pad of the seat for leverage to drive the bar up. And I don't want any leverage. I want all the weight on my front delts. So that's the reason why I'm standing, because it takes away leverage for me to use anything else but my delts to lift the weights. Now, the reason for the safeties is because it sets the bar right above my chin. I don't want to go below my chin, because once I do that, I'm pulling on the tendons in my front delts rather than working the muscle. So it keeps the bar at a certain point where it keeps the tension on my front delts, and standing, it keeps the leverage from me using anything else to drive the bar up, and it really keeps the weight on my front delts, which is going to humble you. As you can see, I'm using light weight, but it feels very heavy. Pins, I also like them because I know that I can go to failure. You know, the more blood you put in the muscle, the bigger the muscle's going to be. So you have to train to absolute failure. There's really no rules and reps when it comes to training, okay? When it comes to reps, it's really like you put a limit on how big you want to get. So when I'm doing compound movements most of the time, I don't even count my reps. I just go till I can't perform the movement anymore. And then as you can see, I'll just drop the bar on the safeties. Why I superset that with bands is those half reps, I still have enough strength to move the weight, but not enough to get it over my head. So the bands take away those half reps. They give me those reps back.